Hello and welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is a man who just got done reading a 2,000-word thesis about why Chong Li threw the final fight in Bloodsport on purpose. It's Nathan Leahy.
And, I think you should start everyone with the link to that article, Mark, because then they won't really have to watch the entire fight. They can just look at it and go, there it is. That was the most insanely broken down fight and lead up to fight that I've ever read, man. I absolutely adored it. And as I said, when I come into these things, I'm like, man, I feel way underprepared. After reading that, I enormously felt underprepared because you already did every little bit of the work. But no, it was awesome, man. It was great. Everyone should check that out.
Yeah, it was really popular on Reddit. It got spread around. I think I said this before on our other episode before we started recording, but a former MMA champion messaged me on Reddit.
Mm-hmm,
and
yeah.
I'm not going to say who it was. I'm shameless enough to say that I got a private message, but I'm not going to say who it was. But they were like, yeah, man, I got a fight this weekend. I was just hanging out. I figured this thing would be stupid. But then I read it, and he's like, this was insane. He said he loved the breakdown of it. So that made me really happy. And John Levengood, who you know, probably he's been on more episodes than probably anybody else on Movies, Films, and Flicks. He's a huge Bloodsport guy. We did a Bloodsport Final Fight episode, and John even said, I was really worried about reading this. John was stressing, but then he read it and he's like, this is wonderful. It makes sense. And so that was a big, that was a good feather in my cap that Levengood loved it because he loves Bloodsport.
Yeah, and it's great. Bloodsport is one of those movies that it's kind of one of those, whenever it's on, you're going to watch it. There are many that I did, like Roadhouse. Oh, it's on TV. I guess I'm going to sit around for 2 hours. My wife and I put on Catch Me If You Can. I was like, well, I guess I'm done doing laundry. I'm going to watch this movie. And it's just one of those that whatever it is about the movie, it's not a grade A Oscar worthy movie, but it's fun, it's entertaining, it's what it is. And funny enough, doing this, final fight that we were talking about, going into it, you always almost kind of feel a certain way about the movie, JCVD should win, whether it's Bloodsport or Kickboxer or, Double Team or whatever it is, that you just kind of go in to expect it. And whatever happens is he's the powerhouse. He's going to do it. And then you told me your theory, and especially after reading the article, I was like, oh my God. And when I watched it again, it was like one of those just brain explosion moments that you never knew until someone pointed it out, and then you could never unsee it. So it's gonna also bleed into other movies. I think next time I watch Kickboxer, I was like, did this really happen? and you try to still your brain's fighting against itself. No, this is how it's supposed to be, and I can't go against that. Dukes is just superhuman. He broke the bottom brick, man. He broke the bottom brick. And it's just really, really interesting. So I don't know where you want to start with it, but I think this is definitely going to change some people's, not change their minds, but at least give them something to chew on. And, maybe the next time that you go watch Bloodsport, they'll go, holy crap, just how I did. You may get some more private messages, and they may not be too kind for you there, Mark.
Do you want to know about the nucleus of the idea, the eureka?
Yes, please.
Yeah, so I had written a data post back in the day about when JCVD does 3+ splits in his movies, that they do better critically and they make more money. And so I watch all of his movies and I look for splits. And I watched the final fight and I was like, that's a little odd. And then Levengood and I, because I've been watching this since I was 10, probably.
Oh, of course.
And then Levengood and I talked about a final fight episode. I studied everything. I studied every aspect of the final fight as we do. And I kind of went, this is getting weirder.
This is suspect.
And then I think I was doing a JCVD versus Steven Seagal episode.
Okay.
And for Rotten Tomatoes versus the show. And I was like, okay, this isn't right. So I went back and I counted all the stats from Frank Dux and Chong Li, Bolo Young, and Jean-Claude Van Damme. Because listen, this is one thing I love most about Jean-Claude Van Damme. When Steven Seagal has final fights, he obliterates people. When Arnold Schwarzenegger has final fights, he'll lose a little bit. Predator, he loses a little bit. For the most part, though, he just wipes people. He wipes the floor with people. But Jean-Claude Van Damme, there's a pattern to his movies, whether it's Universal Soldier, Lionheart, The Quest, Kickboxer, Bloodsport. He gets shellacked.
Yeah, he gets his ass beat.
And for the opening 10 minutes. And then he finds a reserve, and he comes back and wins. And I love that about him. I think that it's a pattern, but he's also not afraid to look weak on screen. He's totally fine being, what's the word? He's totally fine being beat up on screen. But I started watching this and I started counting, and After Chong Li blinds Frank Dux, Chong Li just stands there for 71 seconds of screen time and just lets Frank recover. And I'm like, this doesn't add up, because I watched all of Chong Li's fights. And so in his first 8 fights, he attempts 40 significant strikes and he lands 39 of them. That means he has a 97.5% strike accuracy. He was only hit 16 times. He had 1 takedown. He was only knocked down once. That was by Jackson. He avoided 21 strikes. He cleared his nostrils once. He killed 1 person. He never.
I love the clearing nostrils stat. That made me laugh so hard.
All my data posts, I always add weird stuff to like for
Absolutely.
It's like Easter eggs for people to catch. And so number of times he ran at someone, 0. Number of times he let his opponents yell, 0. And number of needless rolls, 0. But in the final fight, he significant strikes attempted only 14. He lands 11 of them, which is a 78.5% striking percentage. Now, he was hit 34 times, which is more than double his prior 8 fights. He has 0 takedowns. He was blocked 5 times. He was knocked down 5 times. He avoided 6 strikes, but this is where it's important. He never cleared his nostrils. He didn't kill Frank.
Absolutely.
But he ran at Frank like an idiot. Then he let Frank yell for 72 seconds, and he did a needless roll. And so I'm thinking, like, this guy just completely fell apart in the final fight. Chong Li does, Nathan. Like, Chong Li, I did a whole breakdown, if you watch this, about all the times he blocks. Like, Chong Li blocks. And when he's fighting Swan Paredes, Swan hits him several times. And then what's really cool is Chong Li, he makes an adjustment and he starts doing leg kicks, which takes out this takes him out. He basically just takes out his lead leg, then breaks his leg. He's just mad at him. So he immediately adjusts because he has a good jab. Swan has a good jab. So he avoids that, angles out of the way, breaks his leg. Ray Jackson, Ray's clubbing him, but then he takes his legs out. And then Ray can't stand. So the dude's a tactician. And in the semifinal fight, I included a GIF on the very top of the article, or GIF. And Chong Li is he's like a jaguar. He's Mr. Olympia below young, like pecs that are probably bigger than, I don't know, all-timer pecs. But like a huge muscular guy. But he's like, if you watch this, he's like blocking everything. So Nathan, he knows how to block. He has a great striking percentage. He can jump knock people out. He can submit people. He punches people in the back of the heads. He's not above a goal.
He can take a hit. Yes. Talking about the pecs in the final fight, he takes that bump to the chest and he just even shows them off, dusts them off like, oh, you can't do anything to these babies. These are built different.
He doesn't even dust off his shoulder. He dusts off his pecs.
And in the other fights too, you had the stat there of how many times he gets hits, and he usually just like takes it and just kind of throws his head around a little bit, or even just like taunts his opponent. So yeah, he can take a hit. So yeah, all the things that go into it. And I know you had mentioned the article before about going in, and that's why we wanted to do this and talk about it directly. And yeah, after I read the article and watched it, I was like, holy crap, there's like all of this stuff adds up, because you had mentioned him, watching every fight and scouting and trying to make sure. And you had stats in the article about Dukes using like his right leg, what is it, like 82% of the time for all of his hits, all of his strikes, all of his takedowns. And with him, looking at Swan Paredes and the other fighters he did, that wasn't the only one where he was doing leg kicks to take them out. And I think the fight he had beforehand with who was it, Chuan It Mung, who he ended up, of course, infamously killing in the Kumite. He was even hitting his legs to knock him out. So it definitely, if he knows that Frank is a leg heavy fighter, then why wouldn't that be the first thing you go to? Or a thought that I had before coming in here too is being a tactician, being the jaguar, like using your opponent's flaws or injuries against them. In Frank's fight beforehand with Paco, he got hit in the right eye, and there was the big shiner, there was the blood, and any boxer, especially anyone in the Kumite knows that's where you want to go for. You want to go for that right side, and I don't even think he went for it once. So he was avoiding something he was going through. So I'll let you go ahead and throw your theory in there. Why is this happening, Mark? Why did Chong Li, undefeated in the Kumite, fastest record before Frank Dukes come in and shattered it, why is he throwing all of his training, his instincts, his will and desire to fight and just rend his opponents? Why did he just kind of not do any of that? Please tell us all.
I need you to be my data hype man.
You know what? I will be the hype man. If you're just like, Nathan, I can't. I had to watch Eat, Pray, Love, and I'm coming up with all this data, and I can't. I will give you a hype call. You just ring me up.
Oh,
We'll
please.
throw it in there.
Please. All right, so let's go back to the prior tournament. We didn't watch it, but we do learn that Chong Li did kill somebody. Now, it sounds like he just landed a punch to the throat and the guy died. So it is, listen, it sounds like it was kind of an accident. Or not, if not an accident, it wasn't so blatant. Because they're totally fine with violence in this. Like Paco, like he lands like 3 face-destroying knees to a guy's face. Dux hit a man so hard in the testicles that he passes out. Pumala was trying to break backs. Then you have Chong Li Chong Li head stomped Ray Jackson's head, but because he lived, everyone's like, yeah, it's cool. So you're having testicle shots that are so hard people are passing out. You are having head stomps. You are having broken backs, broken faces, orbitals, everything. Teeth are being punched out.
Oh yeah.
So they're cool with violence. So I think it's like he punches a dude in the neck. The guy's windpipe probably closes. Accident, they're thinking, right? It's just, okay, well, it happened in the fight.
Things happen. Yeah, absolutely.
In this one, though, in the semifinal fight, like, he just kills the dude. Like, he has the fight won, and then he kills him. So it
knocks him out, and then it's completely,
so the semifinal...
Unnecessary.
He's completely unprotected, and then he just murders him. So it goes from, hey, accident during a fight, to murder. And the Black Dragon Society, they turn their back on him, and they talk about that they have a rich and powerful heritage. And then they have a new sponsor for this tournament, the International Fighting Arts Association, or the IFAA. So you can't have...
Which is funny if they have a sponsorship and it's still all hush-hush. No one can get in.
Drink Gatorade.
Quiet. By the way, I have this power aid.
Yeah, everyone's talking. It's one of those things where, like, have you heard about the Kumite? Shh. Yeah, I have. Like, you can't say it like talking normally. You got to go, hey man, Kumite.
Do you think the sponsorship, whoever the sponsor was, the password to get into the Kumite? Like, yeah, you can't get back here. No, it's okay. Mountain Dew Baja Blast. Like, oh, he knows. Into noble sir.
Yeah, Mountain Dew Baja Blast was the password. Absolutely.
Kumite, yeah.
But here's the thing though. Let's say NFL game. The NBA, no, NFL just goes mainstream and lands the biggest Disney sponsorship. I mean, they're already on ABC, but then a guy gets his naps. A guy just walks up to another guy and snaps his neck on live TV. Like, that's terrible. So
quarterback throws the ball, pass out of his hands, whoever, and the fullback just comes up and wants to just demolish him, breaks his back, he's paralyzed way after the hit, after the ball releases, after the play. Yeah, that's gonna get some bad things. That player will probably be, if not completely kicked out, heavily suspended and fined.
Yeah.
Has to issue an apology. Probably won't play for that team. Will get kicked down to the minors. Yeah, there'll be some heavy consequences.
Puts C4 in the guy's pants and blows him up. Like, it's just, it's a bad look.
That guy was having a bad day. Okay, he just happened to come across some C4, and he's like, you know what? I've had enough.
As one does.
This is the last time. that he gets a pass by me. Yeah.
Last 2 people he blew up, we thought it was an accident, but this time, I'm not sure.
You know what? Sometimes C4 makes its way onto the field, and you just, you put a foot in the wrong place and the legs disappear. Yeah, for sure.
and listen, so you have the Black Dragon Society who have a rich and powerful heritage. They have a new sponsor. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of eyes on it. Also, the Royal Hong Kong police are involved. There's reporters there. People try to shake me down with this, and this is good. I talked to people who didn't really believe me, who were kind of like, this theory's dumb. And I'm like, okay, well, why is it dumb? So then I listened to their what they told me, and then so I tried to kind of understand why people wouldn't like this idea, like legitimate concerns, like the blinding salt, that he didn't care that the fighting community turned their backs on him. But Chong Li, first and foremost, Chong Li loves the crowd behind him. So when that crowd turns his back on him, he's lost. He's terribly lost. And also, you have an American military man who went AWOL. So Janice goes to the Hong Kong police and she's like, I have a friend fighting in it and I don't want him to get hurt. So then the Hong Kong police might go take care of this. Also, Frank is told, look, Frank, the government has invested a lot of time and money in you. Uncle Sam can't afford to let you get hurt. So Chong Li kills a guy, he might get a talking to. And then, like, remember when Rollins is like, now what? How are we going to stop him? And Helmer goes, follow me. So he has a plan. So you have this final matchup set up, a dream matchup. Chong Li versus Frank Dux, amazing matchup. Two specimens, two legit fighters. But the fight is so off because it's just the first thing of the fight. Like JCVD had landed that kick before, and he just does it immediately to Bolo Young. Like Bolo Young just gets kicked in the face immediately, just immediately. And then I think when Chong Li finally lands strikes, Frank goes down almost immediately. Like he could have him out of the ring. You know, Chong Li actually throws him back into the center of the ring. I do think that there is precedence for Chong Li to either, you know, maybe he wants to lose, which will, I don't know, maybe give him back. Because if he won the tournament, that would be a bad look on him. So maybe he does want to lose. Maybe the powder. Maybe he throws that powder in Frank's eyes so that no one could think that he threw the fight. Like, well, why would he throw the powder then? Because it's like he even tries to cheat. But
misdirection. There's red herrings in there to get you where you want to go. Yeah, I mean, it definitely makes sense if with all of these fighters that come from, you know, known families and their different fighting styles, and they got there for a reason with all this clout, there is a sense of pride that goes along with that. And if you lose that, you're either going to, your accomplishments are going to be diminished, or you're not going to be invited back, or any of this other stuff. And that's not just going to go against him. That could go against anyone from that fighting clan. Like if you look at any, like, you know, Ip Man movies and things like that, like everyone is so prideful of their style, of their school, of all these things, that if one person beats someone else, then it just, like, you know, tumbles, almost gets set aflame if things go wrong or are against the rules. So it completely makes sense. I want to ask you, so if he knew this was coming, he was undefeated in the Kumite, this would be something, if he lost, that would at least make him more, I don't know, honorable, but at least not give him as much clout, kind of diminish him to a sense that may offset the thing that he did. But do you think if he did throw it for certain reasons, this was also a gambling heavy event? Do you think that he may have been like, you know what, two birds, one stone, I will lose this fight. I'll try to get back some sort of honor, play the system, whatever I can do. And maybe I'll make a little scratch for myself as well, because he had his little trainer buddy that was always being his hype man, throwing his fist up in the air and punching thin air. Maybe he sent him off to, hey, go bet on the American under a pseudonym, and maybe we'll get some cash.
Because who's the favorite here? It's got to be Chong Li, returning champion.
Oh, absolutely.
And yeah, so I think so. I think he's gonna make some money on this. Like, this is what I think. I read off the stats for his first 8 fights. This is a guy who knows how to block. He knows how to jump. He doesn't let people yell. He blows his nose. He doesn't do unnecessary rolls. He can telegraph. He can telegraph. He knows when to take out the legs. He knows when to do the kick. He knows when to block the shots. And so in this fight, when he injures Dux, like he's not even like. He's, you know, it's interesting. He's mad at him for having the fastest knockout. He's mad at him for this. He knocked out Ray Jackson, so there's really bad blood. So I guess Bolo might want to play with him, but I mean, he also wants to win the fight. And you know what's kind of crazy too is everyone knows the Tanaka clan, which is where Frank comes from, and Frank does a lot of blindfolded training, so that's got to be a thing that's known. So I wonder even if Chong Li throws that powder in his eyes in front of everybody, in front of the ref, he's not
knowing that he'll be able to overcome it. Yeah.
And you know what's crazy? The whole fight, he never really throws a telegraph punch, only to maybe set up another strike. But Frank is yelling, and for some reason, Chong Li he walks up to him and just kind of throws the weirdest haymaker that is perfectly aligned for Frank to catch. Like, he could have kicked Frank in the back of the head.
It was almost going to be a clothesline, yeah.
Like he could have done everything else but that. He threw the one strike that Frank could block, pretty much.
Do you think he was just trying to shush him? Maybe Chong Li's weakness is his ears. Maybe he has bad eardrums, and the yelling is just like, and he tried to just cover that mouth up.
Yeah, so
it was a wide arc. It it was a wide arc to get to it. But yeah, and what's funny is you were talking about, he knows how to telegraph. Like, he's fighting the person that has the most telegraph, like, recognizable strikes coming at you.
Yes.
Because, like, when I was watching, like, Doug's like, I was like, oh, I gotta go this way now, and I gotta, like, shift my stance. And even before he does it, his both arms go out to, like, balance himself before the kick comes. And I was sitting there, and I was like, how is he winning these fights?
Yeah.
Like, even before Chong Li, I was like, he's gonna, like, that's the leg that's coming, because he has to get himself ready for it. And the fights beforehand against the people that he went up against, there was Swan and Chuan and Meng, like, they all were very fast in their strikes, and if he could telegraph those and know what was coming, surely I say he would have seen Dux's readying of the punch and the 85% right leg coming.
And listen, Chong Li, in his first fight, he blocks a right high kick. He just blocks it. And then he submits the guy. So he can block high kicks, he can telegraph punches, and he also works angles to land a kick. So he lands a body kick with his right leg, but he works an angle. So he knows even in the first fight. The second fight, he's up against mouth guard guy. He catches a right hand, knocks him out with one punch. Then he kicks a guy out of the ring. So he could have kicked Frank out of the ring easily. He could have caught his hands, but he didn't do it. In his fourth fight, we talked about Swan already, but in his fifth fight against Black Belt, he just blocks a right punch, takes him down, and punches him in the back of the head. Knocks him out. Then he fights the guy with the baggy pants. He lands him, like, he grabs left arm, knocks him out with a right jump kick. He can land jump kicks, and he knows how to work the body. And like Ray Jackson, he learns it. Like, this is a guy who knows everything. But in the first kick of this fight, Chong Li has watched all of Frank's fights and knows that of his 50 landed punches, kicks during a tournament, 43 of them come from Frank's right hand or leg. What does Chong Li do? He immediately gets kicked in the face by the same right high kick that Frank used in his fifth fight. So Chong Li watched all of his fights, and he gets kicked immediately by that. And then so when they get back to the center of the mat, Frank lifts his legs and just starts whapping Chong Li in the face.
Oh yeah.
Like just
yeah.
And then so Chong Li's first major strike of the fight, it sends Dux flying onto the mat. And then he just Chong Li's like, oh crap, did I knock him out? Like, I'm worried. Like, he stops.
Was it that easy?
Yeah, and then Frank's like,
could it have been that easy?
And he's like worried. And then when Frank's hurt, he throws him back towards the center of the mat. Like, he could have kicked him out. He could have, because he's done that before, but he didn't do it.
Into the fight.
Yeah,
Into
exactly.
the fight, yeah.
And then to follow this up, Chong Li walks immediately into a kick, walks directly. So Nathan, you and I are fighting, and he walks directly into it. And then, I don't know what happens, but Chong Li runs at Frank, stops, and then he gets kicked in the head. And then also Frank jumps over him. So Chong Li has seen Frank do this before. He knows that Frank can jump over people, but he lets him do it. Mm-hmm. And then he throws the worst haymaker in the history of the Kumite that gets blocked. And then when he gets knocked down, everyone sees him grab the salt from his pants and throw it. The ref sees it. The judges see it. Even people out of the building at the hotel next door see it. Like, it's that choreographed. And then so then he knocks Frank down, and then he takes a page from Jackson's playbook, and he starts jumping around like a big dummy. So, like, he saw that didn't work for Frank. And he's like, well, I'm going to do it now. Like, so all this cheering before was when he had won the fight. And then, like, he gives Frank 71 seconds to get his head right. And then what I think it's possible that Chong Li knew about Frank's ninjutsu training. That's why he did the blinding attack. Oh, wait, I spelled that wrong. I gotta fix that. I'll edit it later. But when you have 2,000 plus words, man, come on now. Of course. And then Chong Li completely falls apart. He throws telegraph punches, does nothing to avoid. He doesn't block once at all. Mm-hmm. And then he does this really weird thing where he rolls under Frank, and I know it's to allow JCVD to do splits. Listen, this whole final fight.
That's the third one. That was the third one that he needed to boost those scores. Exactly. No, I gotcha.
And listen, this fight was created to showcase the best of JCVD. That's why you do it. Absolutely. It's a fun narrative too, because he's losing, then he starts winning, and then the guy cheats. And I understand narrative in film, but if you look at this movie, as opposed to saying, hey, let's make JCVD look good, let's just look at the movie itself. Like, let's watch the fight in the movie. Like, there's a couple times where punches don't even land in this movie, but I guess they kick so hard the force hurts people. But you can't really.
It was the wind generated by the velocity that just, oh god, it came after
man.
it like a hurricane. Well, then this is, so we went through everything that we saw in the movie, the things that, you know, you've got the numbers on here. This is the fun thing that I love whenever we talk, because we go off the rails. Now here's the what ifs, or the things maybe you don't see. With Chong Li being kind of, I mean, any fight is going to be a mind game, right? You got to be in the right mindset to do all this stuff. Chong Li just killed a guy, probably trying to do a mind game to Frank, that like, oh, I'm going to kill you, you're dead, blah, 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 look what I can do, I'm so strong. It kind of backfired against him. And so he's kind of out of it. The crowd, he lost the crowd. His honor is, you know, out the door. So maybe he's just in his own head overthinking things. What if, Mark, I ask you, what if that first right leg kick, he goes, surely he won't start with that. Oh, there it was. And he got hit. What if that knocked something in his brain a little bit? Maybe he had a little hemorrhage. Maybe an aneurysm happened and he just wasn't functioning as his normal self. Maybe it just knocked something loose in his nervous system, and the things that he would normally do, he's just maybe reverted back to you know, beginner level Chong Li.
I mean, that's a great question. There always is a possibility for concussion. And I really think that Paco concussed Frank in the other fight. So, I mean, it's possible they both have concussions going into this fight. So listen, that is a possibility. But I mean, like when Jackson goes after Chong Li, he does like I don't think that punch would ever work in the real world, but some of those punches that Jackson lands would rattle that dude's skull. And he didn't seem to be bothered by that. So I don't think he's at the point yet where could get concussed by a single strike. Now, I watch a lot of MMA, and what's crazy is you'll watch a fighter for years just get their skull obliterated. Then I feel like one day it just stops, like they get knocked out. Then their next fight, they get knocked out by something that wouldn't have done it before. Then their next fight's just as ugly. You just see it all the time with MMA fighters who stay in the game too long, even boxers. I don't think Chong Li's at that punchy part because he doesn't get hit much. Like, if this guy only does the Kumite every 4 years, he was only hit 16 times that we see in this movie. And so I don't think that's enough to really obliterate him. Like, and also, like, they plan on assault in advance. Like, he packs it already. I don't think, like, honestly, in the Bloodsport world, I don't think concussions are possible.
Maybe it was the equivalent of breaking the seal. Like, you try to hold that pee in, you know, you had 12 beers and you goes, I can't do it because, you know, you're going to let loose the whole night. Maybe this is the equivalent of Chong Li's seal being broken, and it keeps getting worse every right high kick he takes. It just sets off his judgment even worse.
Listen, and that is a possibility. So what I wrote is just a theory. I love when holes are trying to, like you just said. I just don't like. You watch these movies. You know, most action films that we watch, Arnold Schwarzenegger carries a tree in Commando. Donnie Yen is shot in XXX3, and you think he's dead, but then he's just walking around later. Like, I think cinema, like, of this level, I just think skulls are different. I don't think concussions. Okay. Does that make sense? Like, it's a possibility, and I love it. But it's just so crazy. I mean, but then he still lands some really good strikes on Frank. He could have had the fight won against Frank, but he just sort of cheers. I think he just does all this I think he did everything he could to lose on purpose in a way that no one thought that he lost on purpose. And when 99.9999999% of people who watch this movie, they probably thought the same thing too. I'm the biggest minority. I'm the only one that's probably ever said this or made such a case. Or there could be others. I'm sorry if you are one of them, but I love that point. But he's still there though, man. He's still cheering. He's still cheating. He's still goading. Concussed brains, man. Like, you know, I've had a couple concussions. You're not that. I wouldn't think about throwing salt in someone's face post concussion.
Yeah.
You're in a different level.
I don't know, man.
Right? I don't know. So,
here's something else maybe with like you said, cinema and especially JCVD movies in general. Do you think that he somehow, because he always just gets this boost of adrenaline and he becomes, you know, it's his version of super soldier serum, and he just, like, his kicks hit harder, his punches, crack vertebrae and ribs and going through. Do you think it may be like an Avatar Last Airbender situation where like his past lives, aka past movies, all just converge on him? Like maybe Kickboxer goes in and he's got a stronger stomach and that right shin from kicking down the coconut tree just really, just goes in there, or just anything before, like does all of his past and future selves just merge together in those moments like some sort of astral awareness, and every single character that JCVD has embodied or will embody in the future comes in this world that he's created, because all of his movies are the same. Why it would make sense that they all just kind of merge into one and make a Super Saiyan Van Damme.
Well, if you think about it, I know we're swapping around different animes and different shows, but if we're talking about Dragon Ball Z, I mean, when they go Super Saiyan times 47, because Goku always just levels up and Vegeta goes like, Kakarot.
There's always another level. There's
Kakarot.
always another level. Absolutely.
You just do it so naturally. I have to train all the time. Shut up, Trunks. So it's...
I was the Prince of Saiyans.
Yeah.
You're nothing. I should be able to...
Don't touch my mama. But yeah, it is totally possible that this is a level up in his part. And listen, cardio works differently in movies. It really does. Like, you can't take as many shots as these people do and be fine. So it's...
Oh, yeah.
His ribs, taking those shots, Frank, in the semifinals that he did to his ribs.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter how...
Against a specifically Muay Thai,
yes.
guy, that's all they do is kick ribs, right? That's how they win fights. They kick...
Like,
they
rib
kick
kicker.
Ribs, they kick knees. Yeah, rib kicker, Paco.
And his favorite food is probably the McRib. He probably likes eating ribs.
Absolutely.
He's walking into that.
The short ribs are the best. He's got a good sense of humor. He likes to rib his friends. It all comes together under this one unifying thing. Yeah, absolutely. I hear what you're saying, though. I mean, the amount of damage he took in that fight, not only from that like elbow to the side of the head that cut him, he's willingly taking abdominal strikes to his left rib cage. And I did not count how many they were. I know that he hit Paco more than he was hit, but he got like at least like a good 7-8 kicks unguarded directly to his ribs. Yeah, that's gonna do some damage on you.
Listen, ribs are miraculous. They are beautiful protectors of our organs. But when you take a McRib kicker, 6 of them, into your ribs, there's gonna be bruising. So yeah, like and
absolutely.
The main thing I have a problem with is all the examples in the post. Like, it just shows that Chong Li knows angles, knows how to make block, and knows how to do things on the fly. But this entire fight, like there's a thing where Chong Li stands in one spot, feet planted, and he just allows Frank to run up to him and kick him. He doesn't even attempt a motion. Also, he does a roll under Frank. I don't even know why that roll happens. And also, too, like, another thing I love, when Chong Li goes to hit Frank, he pulls his arm all the way back like this. And it's like he's going to give him a body glove on the chest. But, like, the rest of the fights, he's throwing straight punches. Like, it's like this fight, he just starts throwing haymakers, he starts rolling, he starts throwing his hands back. And this isn't desperation either. Like, a lot of tough people become not tough when they get punched in the face. But this guy isn't that. So I really think he lost this fight on purpose, because, the Black Dragon Society, the Hong Kong police, the IFAA, this is a guy who murdered someone in the ring, and they're like, listen, you need to lose this, because we're not having this American get killed by you. We have an AWOL American here. Let him win. You murdered somebody. We won't charge you for slaughtering a man, and just lose. Just lose. It's fine. And quick question, who makes the new world record things? I love when Frank breaks the record, they pop up, new world record. Like, they have those signs just there.
Do they have them laying around, or do they have to make them on the fly? Yeah.
But that's just the whole thing, though. And I think I've built the case for this. And I love that you brought up a couple things about maybe getting a screw kick loose in the first kick of the fight. But, maybe there is something. You can get too cute, Nathan. There are moments in your life where you're like, I think they're going to do this, or will they do this, or will they do this? He won't do that. And then you get blopped, and you're kind of going, oh, yeah, I overthought that. He did exactly what he's done the rest of his fights. But you just watch, just watching Chong Li fall apart and letting him back into the fight it just doesn't seem like the Chong Li thing because he's quite efficient in his brawls. So that's
Oh
why.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I think that your article, your theory, definitely the first time you explained it to me, it started triggering that light bulb. You're like, that holds some water. Like this could absolutely be a thing. And when you look into it more and more and break down the fights and go into everything, like, I had a point, potential point with the, concussion or getting something knocked loose. And then I got way off the rails like we do with, his future selves, finding his past self, which is just, us being silly and goofy. But going back to the main point of this discussion is, yeah, he absolutely could have done it, either was instructed to by the Black Dragon Society, by the cops, himself trying to salvage some sort of honor amongst this group so he could continue on with this or get some sort of recognition back from the crowd or make money. If he said, well, even if this is his last Kumite because he just straight up murdered someone, it's like, well, I'm gonna bet it all on Black, aka this American Frank Dux, and at least get some sort of nest egg out of this. So I think everything that you've brought up in the article and what we talked about, even just being silly or whatever, it makes sense. It's a definite possibility and something that I would have never thought of had it not been brought up. Like, hey, you ever think Bloodsport, right? Yeah, do you think Chong Li threw the fight? You're like, of course. You're like, no. Why would he? No. Have you watched it? Well, let's watch it again. And you do. And you're like, oh my god. Oh my god, it's the explosion of what you thought was a complete not even undiscussed. It's complete impossibility that it should not happen, and all of a sudden maybe it is, and that just it throws people, whether it's for Bloodsport or anything.
And this is one of my nuts. This is one of my I've learned about myself is I'm not good with I like really silly hypotheticals. But I think sometimes when people ask questions that, well, why do you think they did this because of this? There's no background info. And it just becomes strictly hypothetical. Like I don't enjoy those conversations. But I think I found my way in with this by just all the stats. So I was able to sort of and that's my favorite kind of thing. That's my favorite sort of theory when you can dive into something and use actual statistics, not just hypothetical. Like, why would they do this? But there's no proof and no one ever says it. I like having the numbers. Like, this is what interests me, is trying to like pitch this in a logical way. And so, but it'd
be the same thing with any sport. If you have a baseball player that's batting, 450 in his entire season and he gets to the World Series and he doesn't get one hit and he has like 13 at bats or something like that, you're going to go, did he maybe get paid off? If things don't add up to what came previously without a logical explanation, concussion or otherwise, you make me go, okay, what happened and what's a possibility based on what came before. So I think it definitely is. You made a very strong case against everything with looking at everything that came before and any possibility of why this could have happened, going into it.
And listen, I know that they elevated the cage to make Frank his JCVD's jumps look higher. He has height on Chong Li when he jumps on him. He can do the splits, the kicks. I think this whole fight was made to make him JCVD's skill set look great. But by doing that, Chong Li threw the fight. I don't care. Listen, Frank, for 71 seconds, he's sitting there going, where am I? I don't know where I am. And maybe Chong Li could have thought it was cute, but why blind somebody if you're just going to let them get their bearings? If I walk up to you, Nathan, and I do the Three Stooges thing right in your eyes, and then I wait for 12 minutes until you have perfect vision again, I'm just annoying you. Like, there's no...
Yeah.
I'm going to strike while you're going, did you just Three Stooges me? Like, I'm going for the bread basket. I'm going for the ribs. I'm McRibbing you. So I'm going to take that leg out. Because that's why you hit somebody...
Ninjutsu training or not, if you let someone sit there for 71 seconds, some of that stuff is going to get teared out of your eyes just by blinking or rubbing your eyes over and over again. Yeah. I mean, I assume it was a salt pellet. Like, you don't want to permanently blind this man after you just killed someone. That's even going to look worse. So, what do you think, Mark? What was the pellet?
Oh, it was.
What was the pellet? Was it?
It had to have been like a salt. It had to have been something because
was it a prototype Tide Pod? Do you think it was a prototype Tide Pod?
Yes, it
Was he
was.
just testing it? He didn't have any of the regular blinding pellets. One of the sponsors for the next Kumite is like, you should try this you can be endorse me. This is a new type of laundry. And he just is like, fuck this thing, I'm done, and just tossed it.
Yeah, and like, don't even drink it. Don't drink it. Don't go on social media and do a challenge. But yeah, here it is. This is great. You'll love it. And so yeah, it's an early Tide Pod.
Was it a Mentos?
Yes, it was definitely a
Peppermint
Mentos.
in the eyes can be better.
I mean,
it
listen,
was powdered Mentos before they honed the Mento, the final Mento.
if someone hacked up a Tic Tac into dust and it was like spearmint and threw it into your eyes,
Oh God, that would hurt.
There's gonna be some funky stuff going on. Any powder,
Yeah.
any type of powder that you toss. This isn't sulfuric acid powder. His eyes don't melt out of his head. So I think it's just
Not
a
at all.
blinding salt type thing that gets into his eyes, and then it gives him 72 seconds. And then, listen, everyone knows the Tanakas. Everyone knows the Tanakas, so everyone knows how they train. So here's a guy, he blinds him, and then he waits 72 seconds for him to get his bearings, and then he throws the most telegraphed strikes on in planet Earth and gets knocked out. Or no, then he taps. He says Mate. So
He's got to say Mate.
like, but here's the thing, like, why would he wait 72 seconds? Why would he, the first strike that he throws is the only strike that Frank could catch. He throws it, I'm telling you. But if you and I are at a fight, we go to the local parking garage, we go to the 4th floor, and they cut off the corner of it, and we watch a fight, and we see some guy blind another guy, but then wait for a half hour. If we see a guy cheat and blind a guy, but then that guy loses after he blinds a guy, we're like, that dude's a loser. He blinded a dude, and then he lost a fight. What a jabroni.
Why do you even do that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But we're not going to go, did he throw the fight? Because why? If you blind somebody,
You're going to say, wow, he's an idiot. He had this thing won.
Yeah.
Why didn't he follow up with anything? He just wanted to, yeah, exactly.
There's enough doubt created to, and also he cheers and he jeers and he looks at the crowd like, hey. So,
oh yeah,
he's milking the crowd. He's letting him get better. And all the time people are going, oh man, he's just cheering. He's happy. But that dude got blinded, and luckily he's trained with the Tanaka clan and he found his inner strength. He went Super Saiyan and knocked out Bolo Young. So no one's leaving that fight thinking it's a work, aside from the people who maybe told Bolo Young or Chong Li to make it a work. So that's.
Do you think that if the Black Dragon clan did tell them that they're just sitting up there like in their mind, they're like, they'll never know. They'll never know. Okay, here comes the salt. All right, awesome. Now cheer, damn it, cheer. Get them on your side. Like they're just in their head, like, or do you think that, if the police maybe set it up with the U.S. government, what do you think's going through the head of the Black Dragons that are up there? Because they're seeing them cheat, they're doing all this stuff. Do you think that, what is grounds for, hey, you killed a dude, don't do anything else that's against the rules, and I see him cheat? Like, would they have called the fight? Is that something that you can do in Kumite if they're breaking the rules too much? I mean, it's the final. Maybe if it was like a little earlier, they would have been like, hey, get your ass out of here. But
why did the ref do nothing about? Why is there even a ref there? He does the blinding powder in front of everybody.
To start the fight,
yeah,
and make sure that people don't die. That's two jobs. That's all he has. Oh, 3 jobs. Stay out of their way. Stay out of the way.
It's a work, man. The ref knows about it. They know about it. If you're any ref, Nathan, and you see somebody throw powder into someone's eyes, you're like, 5-minute break. Get that salt out your eye. Like you're gonna do a break. You're gonna slit them up. You're gonna let the person's eyes. You could maybe deduct the person. Maybe Frank gets a free groin strike. Who knows? But it's so conspicuous, this fight. I'm telling you. Like, also, dude killed a guy. He didn't just kill him in a fight. He murdered a man. Like the fight was over. So maybe they're like, listen, I want to put you in jail, but if you just let Frank win, don't do any serious damage to him because we paid him a lot of money. The IFAA are in on this. We talked to this crew. They're all about honor. You messed up. Lose this fight. You won't go to jail for the rest of your life. We'll just let you lose. Bet on yourself. Make money. Just let Frank win. Don't totally obliterate him. And
don't tell anyone about it.
Yeah, exactly. Because don't tell him. And because, I mean, listen, Chong Li only lands let's see, 11 strikes in the final fight, and that's not a lot. I mean, he gets hit with 5 spin kicks towards the end of the brawl, and just right immediately. So yeah, man, that's just it's a work. It's absolutely a work. So that's my pitch right there.
Do you think, and this is going to be off the wall too, but with us talking about the final fight and the stage stuff and why didn't they do this and why is there a ref there and going through, do you think that the Kumite perhaps birthed sports entertainment as we know it? Was there a young Vince McMahon at the Kumite that this led to the World Wrestling Federation? It's like, hey, we can, as long as we don't kill anybody, we can do these things. We can make these almost thrown or staged matches look really, really good. Look, this crowd's eating it up. We could have salt pellets. We could have a ref that could do or not do anything. We'll just have it go on. This might be something that there's because the final fight does kind of follow a wrestling match. You have someone that's, it's ebbs and flows and goes through, and there's the underdog going into it, and someone usually tries to cheat and then ends up getting defeated. The cheater gets defeated. So, yeah, that was something I thought of right away. Do we think that with the IFAA, maybe they had a link to what would at some point become the WWE?
Yeah, I mean, think about it. You do have the heels. You do have the faces. And even before WWE and WCW, there are the regional wrestling scenes. So you had heels. And the Kumite has been going on for a long time. This didn't just happen yesterday. So yeah, I think totally you could have all these people from around the world coming together, and look at WWD. Like, they definitely had an interesting group of people from all over the place in there. So I think there is a level of sports entertainment in this. So yeah, absolutely.
Did the Kumite evolve into WrestleMania?
Yes, it did. And it used to be. And what we all missed is that everyone from the tournament gets together at the end and does a Royal Rumble.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
That was in the scrapped trilogy, Bloodsport 3.
It was.
That was going to be the Rumble Royale.
Remember the early UFC fights, MMA fights? I wouldn't say so much Pride. Well, the Pride had big guys or little guys. They had some comical shows, but when you watch the early UFC events, and I know that MMA encompasses a lot more than UFC, but you had a boxer who had one boxing glove, you had a sumo, you had karate, you had wrestling, you had jiu-jitsu. So you had all these different disciplines coming together to fight. Nowadays, it's mixed martial arts, so everyone's figured out a way to like synthesize all aspects of you would have wrestlers against jiu-jitsu specialists, you would have boxers. So eventually, as the sport evolved, it became more complete. But in those first few events, you had Tank Abbott, who just crawled out of a bar breaking a karate practitioner's neck. You had a guy named Keith Hackney punching a dude in the balls 14 times. Like, you just had you had a guy kick a sumo his teeth out of his face. So I think very much so that influenced the early UFC fights. I really believe that. And yeah, I mean, you definitely had the people, Tito Ortiz going big. You had the heels. So I think sort of Chong Li was the prototypical. Now, there were heels before him, but he was just such a perfect heel because he had the look.
Oh yeah.
Like, Vince McMahon would love him. He's got the look. He's got a good
look. If anyone
athleticism.
if anyone came in that looked like Bolo Hung today, he would get the biggest push in WWE to be a massive heel. And I mean, and even if he wasn't good on the mic, like, I had Brock Lesnar, you just throw him a Paul Heyman. And, they can speak for him, and you just need to be that presence and that explosive thing and the intimidating look, and you're good to go. Let me ask you this, Mark. If Chong Li did get if Chong Li was not part of the tournament and you had all the other fighters in here, who do you think, if it was Frank Dux versus a different fighter, do you think someone would have been able to take down Frank?
Real quick though, I think the only way that Bolo Young could talk, like, his speeches would be Morse code with his pecs. Like, he would just be like.
Would he have like a Stephen Hawking-ish like contraption on his chest that it would just be a robotic voice whenever he does some pumps?
Yeah, he would flex his pecs.
I will see you in the steel cage. WrestleMania. Oops. WrestleMania, I mean.
And when he talks to people, he's like, actually, yes, I would love to fight them. But since he's playing a heel, he's got to be the quiet guy. Now,
absolutely.
Could anybody beat Frank? I mean, listen, we saw let's see, Paco landed some good stuff, but he made it to the semifinals. He wasn't enough. I think if Ray Jackson was on the other side of the bracket, and he had Chong Li beat. All he had to do was kick him out the cage. Or the mat. So I don't see, I don't see Swan Paredes beating Jackson. I don't see any of the people that. I think it would have been a Jackson versus Frank final. And I mean, we saw the way Frank took out the sumo. I mean, he punched the sumo so hard in the testicles that he just passed out. That's nuts. So I think that's nuts. Oh no, I didn't do that on purpose.
I knew it. Oh, it's the best when you don't mean to do it. And let's just take a moment for that. Just let it sit.
Wow.
That's nuts. Oh yeah, sorry. Continue on. How do you think that he would have fared against? Because we saw it was Ricardo Mora was the monkey fighter. They referred to him as, and he had a couple fights. He went up against the sumo and got his back broken. How do you think Frank Dux would have gone against him? Because he was just rolling all over the place. If he would have gotten on his back like a spider monkey and choked him out, do you think he would have been able to get out of that? Because he was lanky and going through and the fast movements. I don't know if Dux would have been able to position himself and given the 4 seconds to get his leg up in that amount of time to connect.
Well, we saw the way that he won when he beats the white gi guy. The white gi guy throws the worst telegraphed punch I've ever seen in my life. Frank's not that guy. I think Frank keeps the distance. He has his karate stance. He has his training. I think that his mobility and Frank can make some pretty good reads on there. So I think he's going to land a pretty good kick in this fight. I don't think that guy's going to take him out. He's great, but it's going to be a long fight, but I don't see him totally winning. I mean, neon blue pants isn't going to win. Brown shorts isn't going to win. So I'm reading this from Laser Time Podcast. They named them all. No takedown defense dude who gets taken down really quick by Chong Li.
I saw that article beforehand when I was trying to get these. Fire Pants was one.
Yeah.
I liked Fire Pants. That was a fun. There was a tiny tattoo guy.
Yeah, gray gi guy's not going to win. Let's go through them. Maroon gi, he loses. Swan, he's not going to win. Silky blue gi.
Mouth guard guy, completely not going to win.
Hammer Pants, Hammer Pants is pretty tough. He takes a good back punch. Then you have Mr. Mouth Guard. Black formal gi, no. Tattooed guy, he looks tough, but no. The guy,
he had some fun moves going through. The fight that he had with Chuan was a fun little back and forth with their different stances and quick kicks and punches.
Yeah, that one was really. Bloodied by Paco guy's not gonna win. Tune Wing Sum, Budaman Prang. He's the one who lost to Chong Li in the first round. He was a beast. That guy looked. Mm-hmm. He looked like a winner of the whole thing, but he loses. Tight Pants Man. Tight Pants Man is actually pretty tough, but he loses. Nega Ducks. I think if anyone's going to win, it's Pumala, who is just that sumo. He takes a gut shot and just absorbs it. That's really impressive. Remember Jazzy Jeff?
I said.
Gomez. Gomez is tough, but he just gets kicked right in the face. Tiny Tattoo Guy's tough, but he loses. I just think Mora's tough, right? But what's interesting about Mora is Frank adapted to sumo better than Mora did. So that shows that on the fly, Frank has a better fight IQ. You know what I mean?
He does, but in that fight with Pumala's slow as hell.
Yeah.
And so he just even at the last end when he's getting ready to beef up and I'm going to do one last. He flexes his shoulders. He rolls them. I think I counted 5 or 6 times, just giving him the time to what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Giving him time to adapt and go through. And as soon as he lunges at him, Frank probably has 12 different things that he could do. So I think, I don't know, he's definitely adaptive. I think that he would get thrown off by the quickness. I think because as we saw in the Chong Li fight and some of the others, the fastest person he went up against was Paco, and he was just asking for kicks. Kick me here. Kick me here. Come on, coward. Kick me here. I don't know. I just thought that would have been a fun fight that I would have loved to see in this Kumite.
Paco, and what's crazy too? Paco's a good fighter, but he got dragged into Frank's fight. So Frank even is good at head games in it. So once again, Paco. So I really think it's going to come down to Pumala. It's going to come down to Jackson, Mora, and Paco. But I think Frank's going to beat them all.
Yeah. It would be a fun dynamic to see Frank and Jackson go up because they have the friendship. Do you think Frank would hold back because of that?
Yeah.
And would that, because Jackson would be the one that just like would be no holds barred and go in and start breaking noses. Would Frank be the one that's like, I don't want to hurt you. You're my friend. No, we can come. Just say Mate. And he's going to take a headbutt to the nose and get knocked the hell out.
Frank would obliterate Jackson's balls. I'm telling you. He would just. He would destroy
Would
him.
Jackson channel his inner ogre and then just completely tear him apart?
When
Would we hear a nerd's call and then just like lift him up in a Luthez press and toss him over?
Oh, that's
overhead
amazing.
Press like the Ultimate Warrior and toss him out.
No, he would. I think this is what would happen. Jackson would put his hands up to do the club punch above his head. Frank would do a split, and like I said, do speed bag on his balls. That would be it. Like that's what Frank. Frank would just pummel him. Now I have a very interesting question for you. What happens if Chong Li fights Jackson in the first round before the bad blood? Before Frank says, I'm going to kill you. Before Jackson and Frank are good buddies. And before Frank has beaten Chong Li's record.
Chong Li's record that does that, yeah. Well, he underestimated him in their fight. Yeah, Chong Li underestimated Jackson in his fight. That's why Jackson got a lot of good hits in.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, going into it, I think Jackson would still have a little bit of a cockiness if he did get some good hits because here's Chong Li and he's the undefeated champion and do this and like watch me kick his ass and trying to play to the crowd and get that going. So it may end up, being the exact same outcome, but I mean it could have gone a different way. I think Jackson, if he was just more so let me show you what I can do, like throwing out the tiny gentleman in that one fight where he just like go home, where he was just trying to make a name for himself right away. Knock out the previous champion. I mean, he has something to prove. He's a new person to the Kumite as well. So if that would have happened and he was no holds barred, no BS in the fight, I think he would stand a good chance of taking him out.
Exactly. And even if Chong Li won, I don't think Chong Li would hurt him as bad because the bad blood built.
Oh yeah.
I think Chong Li would just
there was no reason to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that would mean that he's not in the hospital, and then Frank wouldn't have the real animosity then.
Exactly. All the movies at JCVD, there's the kickboxer, it's his brother, it's all this going on, and he gets that boost and, the anger and the rage, you hurt my friend, he's in the hospital. If he didn't have that extra oomph, is that what kind of propelled him to win everything?
Exactly. And also
the motivation.
Yeah. I think that's a fun fight. Like if that happened in the first round, that would be kind of a gnarly brawl to have. But I also think Jackson, remember when he tight pants guy? Jackson can knock you out with one punch. I feel like he's the only person in this tournament who has that lights. There are several great athletes in this, but Jackson has that one punch KO power. And so, I mean, listen, he hit Chong Li so hard. Chong Li didn't get a concussion from that. So I don't know. I think the skulls are different here. But if anybody, it's going to be Frank the whole time. But if Chong Li's not there, I think it's a Jackson final. That's my theory. Do you think Paco would beat Jackson?
That's a good. I mean, he's got some. Well, as we found out in the Chong Li fight, if you go after the mid carriage in the legs, which Paco ended up doing, then he could take the wind out of him, slow him down, and really, because he's got some massive blows. He cut Frank with the elbows. He's got the knees going in. Like, I mean, any fighter, watching MMA, if someone lands a clean knee, that could take you out on its own, right? Knees and elbows are dangerous.
And Jackson did not do well with the leg kicks either. So I hope it's. Yeah, I think that's...
Paco seems like he's a smart enough fighter with, tricking Frank at the beginning and, like, getting his own anger. Like, if he gets hit a couple times, just taking out he gave the 3 knees to Gray guy's head, knocked him completely out. I mean, he knows how to fight. He knows how to do a couple things to twist a fight to his advantage, and he's just kind of a dangerous guy with how he does stuff. So I think he could definitely do it, especially if he seems to be watching fights beforehand and, getting in, figuring out what it is. If he knows what's dangerous from Jackson, especially if you would take out Chong Li at the beginning. Anything like that, stay away from the hands, do this, keep your distance, go for the legs, go for the stomach. Then, I mean, it all depends. But I think that would be a fighter if any of the ones in the Kumite that would take him out, he'd be one of them.
All right, so I think we solved it.
What did we solve? Everything. We solved everything.
The theory's pretty good. Frank still would have won.
The theory is great.
Yeah.
Frank still would have won. If Frank wasn't in it, Paco or Jackson would probably be ones that would be up there.
Because Paco's a beast, dude. I love him in this movie. He's I like no takedown defense, dude.
if Paco didn't fall into the Frank's cleverly laid trap of kick me only on this side, do you think he may have won? Do you think he would have focused on the injured right eye of Mr. Dukes?
I think so, because, I mean, look what Chong Li knocked him out with almost his first strike. So if Paco stayed in there.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, this was lovely, and I think I have a fun surprise for our next one. I might just drag you into it and make you record it.
Oh yeah.
I think I have a good idea for our next one.
No, I'm down for it anytime.
All right, cool. Well, I'm gonna pitch it to you, and then I'll see what you like, but it's going to be a surprise. I might release it during our 500 episode week, which is coming up in 15 episodes maybe when this gets released. So it's coming up. So pay attention for that.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, man. Well,
if you like us BSing about all the fighters that aren't Jean-Claude Van Damme in Jean-Claude Van Damme movies, you may enjoy this next episode.
Hey, so where can people find you?
Where can people find me? Oh, man, I'm in the frigid north now. I moved out of Texas. I'm up in Minnesota dealing with 20 inches of snow. I mean,
online?
If they want to follow my goofball antics online, yeah, my Twitter is honorary GL. I'm a big comic nerd. You'll see me sharing not only movies, films, and fics, updates and things, but yeah, just goofing off, a lot of pop culture stuff. Honorary GL on Twitter. You'll see a lot of artists and comic books, a lot of my comic books. I finally counted all of my issues and categorized. I'm over 3,000 issues, which some people are probably like, that's nothing. Well, it's something to me, okay? So don't at me.
You have a lot of issues, man. You have a lot of issues.
I have a lot of issues, and they keep coming.
Oh, brother.
They keep adding up.
Well, I love it. Well, that was awesome. I always enjoy our episodes, man, so thank you for joining me.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for inviting me, man. It's, going from Elias Koteas to Predator and Ewoks to Jean-Claude Van Damme. You never know what we're going to do. It's always a fun time.
I love it. All right, so for me, Mark Hoffmeyer, for Nathan Leahy, this is Movies, Films, and Flicks. We'll see you next week.